basically come from the four elements of nature. They come from the sun, they come from water, they come from air, and deep earth. They're available endlessly, and they don't emit any greenhouse gases. So in the energy sector, our only choice to save the planet from climate change. The EIB has decided to dedicate at least 25% of its financing to climate action projects. This target is actually 35% by 2020 for projects outside the EU.
Une fois finie, la centrale fournira quelque chose comme ça, 180 MW, et ça correspondra à quelque chose comme 2,2 millions d'habitants marocains.
In terms of impacts, in 2016, over 4 million households will be supplied by renewable energy thanks to the project the bank is financing once they become operational.
Beneath the ground, we have a geothermal reservoir. So we can drill deep wells and get up a mixture of steam and water to get electricity. So it's producing about 10% of all of the electricity produced in Iceland.
Besides the positive impacts on climate, in our project we would look also at sustainable development of the community. For example, the impacts on employment, on the impacts on the local community, whether they have been consulted.
Getting a line of credit for 15 years, 20 years, 30 years from European Investment Bank is a great help, since multilateral agencies nudge us to follow high environmental and social standards.
Not all renewable energy resources are available in all places. However, most countries have several options and have to choose the one which is more efficient and more economic. All the technologies will all be needed in the path towards decarbonization.
Technology focuses on reducing the environmental impact of industries by leveraging green energy, recycling, and waste management innovations. From solar panels to green manufacturing processes, the focus is on sustainability as regulations tighten globally. But scalability remains a concern. Green technologies often require large initial investments, and the global infrastructure isn't always equipped to handle the shift away from fossil fuels. The sustainable tech market is projected to grow from $36.6 billion by 2027, with industries like transportation, energy, and manufacturing leading the way.
Energy refers to electricity generated from renewable, non-polluted sources such as solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, energy from the sun, and biomass from the plant. According to International Renewable Energy Agency (IRENA), over 12 million jobs worldwide are tied to renewables, with solar and wind costs dropping by more than 80% over the last decade. By cutting greenhouse gas emissions and reducing reliance on fossil fuels like coal, petrol, and natural gas, green energy helps mitigate climate change, improve air quality, and foster sustainable development. It also spurs technological innovation, lowers long-term costs, and protects ecosystem for future generations.
To the game and go green. Some of the best tech innovations have been developed to help slow down the impacts of the climate crisis. Here are 3 examples of green technology that's pushed planet-saving ideas. Carbon capture, relocating and reusing carbon emissions, already existing in the atmosphere. They're literally vacuuming up and reusing the extra carbon in the air. Sponge cities. Picture cities with green walls, roofs, and ponds that soak up water to prevent floods and keep things cool by literally soaking up water that can be reused for biodiversity and cooling down urban cities. Low carbon construction. Smart, self-sufficient, and sustainable buildings are able to produce enough energy to sustain itself. The design and materials used emits a low carbon footprint. green tech is making our world cooler. Think floating solar farms, vertical farming, and high-tech ways to track and purify carbon and water. It's just the beginning of a way better future.
Is this possible, or do you think it's going to be a mix between them, and we will see, like, let's see, different type of developments in the industry for the next year?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, my personal perspective is anything is possible if you give it enough effort and time, right? And so in this case, time is really the key thing. You can't flip a switch and go from being a predominantly fossil fuel-based, high-emissions energy portfolio to one that isn't overnight. It takes time. And so to be blunt, Julio, today, no. We could never account for these sustainable technologies to pick up 100% of the demand that we have. We should use them, in my opinion, as supplemental and growing and emerging technologies for now. And as best as is possible, when our demands change, we should start, in my opinion, with a sustainable source first if it makes sense, rather than continuing to build some of the older antiquated.
What most people don't know is that green technology transforms the way we live and learn. Discover how sustainable education unlocks new opportunities. First, implement renewable energy sources on campus. Next, create green spaces for innovative research. Then, develop cutting-edge, sustainable curriculums. This is not just about saving the planet, it's about saving our future. Don't miss out on this opportunity to transform your institution. Join the green technology movement today and start making a difference.
Ever feel like the future is already here? We're living in a world of smart devices, AI, and incredible innovation. But what if the most important tech revolution isn't about what's in our pocket, but how we power our lives? Today, we're talking about sustainable technology and green energy, and why they're the real game changers for our planet. So, let's start with the basics. What is green energy? It's simply power that comes from a renewable source and doesn't harm the environment. The big three you've probably heard of are solar power. We capture the sun's energy with photovoltaic panels. It's clean, it's abundant, and it's becoming incredibly cheap. Wind power. We use massive turbines to harness the kinetic energy of the wind. They're getting bigger and more efficient, powering entire cities. Hydropower. This is the classic. We use the flow of water to generate electricity. It's reliable and a major power source worldwide. These technologies are no longer just a nice idea, they're a powerful reality. But they have one big challenge. They're not always on. The sun doesn't shine at night, and the wind isn't always blowing. This is where sustainable tech comes in. It's the tech that solves the problems of green energy. First, there's energy storage. Think of giant batteries that save all that extra solar and wind energy generated during the day and release it when we need it, like at night or on a calm day. This technology is crucial for making the grid stable and reliable. Next, we have smart grids. This is like giving our old electrical grid a digital brain. It uses AI to predict energy demand, manage power from different sources, and route electricity more efficiently, so nothing goes to waste. But it's not just about power. Sustainable tech is about changing how we use everything. Think about electric vehicles. EVs, they're not just cleaner cars. They're mobile batteries that can one day even send power back to your home. Vertical farming. Growing crops indoors, using less water and land, and with no need for pesticides. It's a revolution in how we feed ourselves. The circular economy. Tech that helps us reuse and recycle materials, so we stop creating so much trash. Why does all this matter? The impact is enormous. For the planet, it's our most powerful tool to fight climate change. By shifting away from fossil fuels, we reduce emissions and protect our environment. For the economy, this isn't just an expense, it's a massive growth industry. It's creating new jobs, new businesses, and new opportunities for innovation. For you, it means cleaner air, more stable energy prices, and a more resilient, smarter way of life. The world is moving. Countries and companies are investing trillions of dollars in this transition. The goal is to build a future that is not just technologically advanced, but also clean and sustainable. So the next time you see a solar panel on a roof or a wind turbine in a field, remember it's part of a bigger picture. It's not just a power source, it's a piece of the technology that's building a better future for all of us. What do you think is the most exciting green technology? Let us know in the comments below.